And welcome back to our 26th video. Today we are going to need our reading projects, so please fetch them. Okay, and open them on Space Camp. Introduction from Space Camp to Space. In 1996, grader Kate Robbins went off to camp. The camp she attended wasn't the kind of place where she roasted marshmallows over a campfire through. This was Space Camp. It was a place where kids learned about space exploration. Kate had told her parents that she dreamed of becoming an astronaut and scientist. 26 years later, a group of young trainees took their seats in a theater at the same camp. They watched a broadcast of the liftoff of a giant rocket. On board was a fresh crew for the International Space Station, orbiting more than 322 kilometers above Earth. One of the astronauts on that rocket was Dr. Kate Robbins, the same person who had attended the camp in 1990, when she was a sixth grader. For years, she had worked as a scientist, then she trained to be an astronaut with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the NASA. Finally, she was blasting off to serve on a 4-month mission on the ISS. She had fulfilled her childhood dream of becoming an astronaut and flying into space. Space camps around the world. Space camps allow young people to learn about space science. Programs teach about the history of space exploration. Some projects focus on rockets and the machines used in space. Campers also go through some astronaut training. They try out equipment astronauts use to prepare for their missions. Today, space camps have taken off in many places. One camp is at the United States Space and Rocket Center located in Huntsville, Alabama. There, space camps trainees can see giant rockets and space capsules. The spacecraft astronauts fly in. More than 750,000 trainees have attended that space camp since it opened in 1982. They have come from all 50 states in the United States and more than 60 other countries. Some museums in the United States host space camps too. For instance, children can attend space camp at the Frontiers of Flight Museum in Texas. In Florida, there is a Camp Kennedy Space Center. In Washington, D.C., the Smithsonian Association hosts several summer days camps. They even have space-related programs for children as young as kindergarten age. Space camps are also popular around the globe. In Canada, the Cosmodrome hosts 3-day camps and other programs. Space Camp Turkey is located in Izmir, one of Turkey's biggest cities. Russian Space Camp includes talks about Russia's amazing history of space exploration. Going to Space Camp. Space camps are available to nearly everyone. At some camps, younger kids go with their family. Camps for older kids are grouped by age. Some space camps hold sessions for trainees with visual and hearing impairments. Space camps mostly concentrate on space history and science. At many of these camps, trainees study rocketry. They build and launch their own model rockets. At others, they research spacecraft constructions before designing their own spaceship. And here we have some of the activities of the space camp. Below is an example of a day in the life of space camper. Okay, so we can see that they wake up at 8 o'clock and they go to bed at 9 o'clock. and they are in touch with their families, call home, and prepare for bed. Space camps about robotics are also popular. Robotics is an important part of space exploration. Rovers that have explored Mars are good examples. Robotics trainees build robots and program them to do tasks. Teams may face up in a robotic competition at the end of the camp. Children aren't having all the fun too. Many space camps host adults from around the world. Some science teachers attend so they can bring new lessons back to their schools to teach future space explorers. Astronaut training. Many space camps have simulators for campers to try. These pieces of equipment help astronauts train for their missions. Astronauts must practice for every situation they may deal with in space. For training simulators let them experience some of the same challenges. While trainees are on simulators and adults always watch them for safety, the multi-axis trainer the multi-axis trainer MAT lets astronauts practice regaining command of a spaceship that is tumbling out of control. It is made of two big metal rings that spin and flip. The trainee is strapped in a seat in the center ring. The two rings then move wildly in different directions. The 1/6 gravity chair. This simulator lets trainees jump around as if they were walking on the moon. The gravity is 1/6 that of Earth. The simulator helps trainees get used to moving around when they feel much lighter than normal, as we can see in the picture, and it looks very fun. Then we have Math Minute. If a person weighs 27 kilograms on Earth, how much will that person weigh on the moon? We are going to check it on class. Please keep it in mind. The Space Shot and G-Force Accelerator. Roller coaster riders will enjoy the Space Shot at Space Camp in Alabama. It shoots riders upward and at a high speed. Those who ride the Space Shot feel as though their bodies are much heavier than normal due to the pressure. The G-Force Accelerator is a spinning ride. It spins quickly, creating a pressure that pushes against the body. It creates the same amount of force astronauts feel during a rocket launch. Simulated missions. Simulated space missions are another popular space camp activity. Teamwork and leadership are important parts of being a good astronaut, and these missions let trainees practice both skills. At some camps, they take part in video game-like simulations. One mission has participants launch the shuttle. They fly it to the International Space Station and then dock with the ISS. Team members perform their own duties, but they must also talk with each other on their headsets. Some trainees work as astronauts, others work in mission control the command center back on Earth. Some simulated missions include voyages to the moon, others take place on models of space station. The crew must be prepared to think fast if the simulator makes up an emergency. For example, they might have to deal with a simulated meteor shower. For older trainees, a few space camps have created simulations for future missions, including a mission to Mars. And here we have Space Camp Heroes. Here are a few astronauts and scientists who have either graduated from space camps and supported programs that help young people. We have 5 people. Astronaut of the future. Today's space camp trainees may be the astronaut of tomorrow, like Dr. Kate Robbins. NASA is working closely with other space programs to plan mission to Mars. They hope the mission will take place in the 2030s. Current space camps trainees could be part of that mission. They could be the first people to leave footprints in the red soil of Mars. They will continue our reach for the stars. Okay, this is pretty interesting because some of you like a lot space, so maybe you can take it into consideration. Thank you very much, and please don't forget to do the activity related to the video.